What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is episode number 2 of the Insurance Advertising Masters Show. If you're new to the channel, my name is Justin Falk. I am the owner of Insurance Advertising Masters. This is my CEO, Josh Foray. And on this show, we talk about everything that has to do with advertising, marketing, funnels, AI, any of that new technological stuff, and not just in the insurance niche. We're talking about it everywhere that we're seeing it on the internet, different strategies that are working in other industries. And then we show you how you could apply that to insurance. So some of the things that we break down are going to be in the insurance niche already. Some are going to be outside of the insurance niche that would apply to the insurance industry 100%. So let's get into it. Josh, what do you got for us today?
Yeah, so I found this guy, and this was a boosted post. So he put some money behind this and thought it was just a really good ad, and clearly an ad that's designed to get your attention and bring you to his profile. But we can kind of talk about that strategy in a little bit. But let's just roll it and check it out and see why it's working.
Cool.
Do you know why cash value life insurance is a scam? Because the agents who write it. I'm going to show you how to properly and improperly structure an IUL, okay? So 35-year-old male comes into my office and says, hey, I want to start an IUL. Here's $500 a month. So here's the wrong way.
Cool. So for those of you guys watching, I just want to point out some important stuff just as we're going through it. First and foremost, like you got to have a hook in any sort of video or advertising that you're doing, especially if you're using this strategy where it's more of a short form content compared to long form. It is placed on Instagram as a reel. So people are seeing that as they're scrolling through. If people are scrolling through, you got to do something to catch their attention. And the hook here is awesome. I love it. He's leaning into something that is already a confirmed bias, like in the market. He's leaning into something like people are already saying the words that whole life is a scam or cash value life insurance is a scam. And so then he's leaning into that, but then providing a different perspective as to, hey, it's not the product itself, it's the agents. It's, he's alleviating it so that he gets attention and then can show you like why those statements are being.
For sure. Yeah, I thought the hook was super powerful because a lot of agents want to just go and fight. They just want to go in and basically push their perspective. You're not going to win people over that way, right? It's like you're not going to take somebody who thinks about cash value life insurance as a scam and just shove it down their throat. So his approach is really sly. He's like, it is a scam when it's done this way. And so if someone already has that bias, they're going to start watching. And then they might hopefully stick to actually see him play out why, in his perspective, it's worth it. It's great.
Way to do it. None. Option B, the worst index in the entire system. So here he is, age 36. He put in $6,000. He has $0 cash value. We get down here to age 65. Upon retirement, he has $315,000. How to properly design max accumulation and income. B to A. What B to A means is we're going to buy more life insurance the more money we put in. The best strategy that we have. First year, remember we had 0 in cash value. First year, $3,600. Notice the death benefit in the other policy was almost $500,000. And at age 65, we have $600,000. That's almost double. So I might have put myself out of business because I have a lot of agents that follow me. If you want this done correctly, let me do it. And ask questions.
So I think that like as we dive into his profile and stuff, there's most likely some other posts that he's done that I think are done really, really well. I think that, I mean, obviously this one got attention. He spent enough money on it to get 13,000 likes. So I'm guessing it probably had some good return for him for sure. It's something to point out, like tiny bit of a critique, but at the same time, like it's really, really hard to do is teaching whole life or teaching IULs or whatever, that middle teaching section. Like the teaching section is great because like you're giving something which creates value. However, anybody watching this that's not an insurance agent is going to be like, dude, what is happening? Like I have no idea what's going on. So he did a good job of keeping it short. Like
Yeah, for
you're
sure.
not going to be able to like fully explain the in-depth structure of an IUL or a whole life policy. Nobody cares about that, honestly. And so he's just sticking to the points and trying to like show little pieces that, can validate. It also does a good job of showing that he knows what he's doing and creating doubt that like anybody that's watching that is like, well, okay, well, now I'm not going to just go to my uncle Tim that sells insurance. He's not going to know how to do this stuff. He's totally going to mess it up for me. So I think it did a really good job of doing that. And yeah, and then I also liked at the end, like it kind of felt like it was like last minute for him, which I think also kind of works because it's authentic. But he's like, yo, and questions, just put them in here. because
Yeah.
then people that have questions is going to create comments and create more engagement on the post as well too.
That's what I was thinking the whole time in the teaching part was nobody cares about this. Agents are always going to fight. If you see posts like this, you're going to find agents fighting each other in the comments. And so it's like an agent who is pro IUL is going to fight and comment against agents who are anti IUL. It is what it is. But if you're hitting a market that's not an agent, which you will be whenever you're targeting properly. So when you're hitting agents or people who aren't agents who are maybe have that bias or maybe hearing about it for the first time. What I think this does is puts in their mind, I don't know what any of this stuff is, but this guy does. So if I have questions, I'm going to hit him up. So I think the teaching part does a really good job because he doesn't get too into the weeds. Like you said, he keeps it short. So he just runs through things where a prospect is not going to know what that means. They're not really, all they're going to think is that's good, right? That number got bigger, right? So that's good. Okay. I don't know what he did here and all that stuff, but he seems to know
Yeah.
what he's talking about. It positions him as an authority. So really, I thought it was really interesting how he did it and how he kept it short was smart too, for sure. But we can jump into his profile and just take a look and see, even down here, I think some of the thumbnails are super interesting. His use of thumbnails is pretty valuable. And obviously it fits his brand, the whole Viking financial concept. He's got a
Mhm.
massive beard. The dude is
Yeah.
definitely on brand here.
100%, and probably just using, Chat GPT or, those I very confidently say that those are AI generated images, but and also really, really smart that he's used those on the pin post to gather attention. And then on the other ones, he's kind of going more towards like,
Green screen
e-
effects.
yeah, it looks like he's actually not putting a ton of intentionality to the non-pin ones, which is totally fine. Like, as insurance agents, you guys are busy. Like, but the smart thing is for the pin post at the top, he did put a lot of intentionality into that.
For sure. For
So
sure.
just to like kind of recap, we talked about this a little bit in the last episode, but just so you guys understand, like what's the strategy here? Josh, if you want to go back to that last post, if we look into the description, or I would call this the ad copy, but it goes as the caption on Instagram. And so he's kind of summarizing some of the main hooks, the same points that he's talking about. The thing is like a small percentage of people are actually going to read this. So you also want to make sure that like you're saying your call to action in the video as well too. But right here you can see, don't make the same mistake. Comment me if you want me to set up your account or even see if it's for you. Okay, very smart call to action there, because he's calling those to action that are ready for action, and then those that are still skeptical, he's creating a bit of, hey, I don't even know if this is the right thing for you, by that last part of the sentence of, or even to see if this is for you, which then gives him, it's like deniability that he's trying to sell you. He's just
Yeah.
trying to figure
Almost
out like,
DQing them in the call to action.
yeah,
This isn't going to be for everybody kind of an approach.
exactly. And so his one on here is to comment actually, right? And so like we talked about this on the last episode. If you guys haven't checked that out, we can link it up here. But for this Instagram strategy, it's about making like the content is going to do so much of the work. This is where a lot of people think that like ads come from. Yo, I'm running an ad, I'm paying Facebook or I'm paying Instagram. That's where the results are going to come from. And it's not. And it's not the buttons and levers inside of the platforms either. It's the actual content, the actual things that are being said, the fact that he had such a good attention grabbing hook. He has this teaching section that actually gives them value. So they're going to stick and keep watching. And then the call to action at the end. And so, with the strategy, a call to action can be comment on the post, which is great because the more engagement you get, the more it's going to naturally have a viral effect. Another one could be to send a DM. And then a third one could be to follow. And so regardless of which one you choose, follows are the easiest to get started with. And then as you get better and dial in your content, then we can go to comment. And as you get even better, then you can move to DMs or vary between comment or DM, just so you're not saying the same thing over and over again. But the cool thing is that like with any of those call to actions, you're building your page. Like people see this as an ad that interrupted them as they're on social media. And now with this strategy, you're not sending them to a landing page. Your profile is the landing page. So this is a perfect example. If we want to go look at his profile, he's got, I don't know how long he's been doing this strategy. He's absolutely killing it at the strategy,
One
but
thing
he's
I
got
will say really quick
178.
before we move on to that is I like this. It's not typically recommended. You usually want one call to action, but I do like how he positioned this of essentially here are three things you can do. Do one of these things or do one of these three. And then obviously for him that's an inbound. So if you comment forward, if you comment, then that's an inbound. right? If you DM him, that's an inbound. Obviously, if you book an appointment in his bio, that's an inbound. But all of these things result in inbounds. They're all people who watch this ad, it catches their attention, they move through the process, they do one of these things, that's an inbound, right? He didn't go out there and pursue these people. They came to him. So
Exactly.
it's probably what one of the highest intent leads you could possibly get is somebody who goes through this process, gets indoctrinated with what you're saying, and then comes to you.
Yeah, because not to mention, are they inbound, but they're inbound to him specifically. Like, if they get in the DMs and they're talking to him, the rapport's already built. If they then get on a sales call and they're talking to him, it's gonna be a laydown. But even still, even if it's one of his team members, an employee or something, the rapport is still already built. A lot of people in the industry that don't control their own marketing, they think of inbound as like, oh, I got a warm transfer, or, I got this company to run me ads for inbound calls. But those things are all based on like get a quote. And the thing that's drawing their attention is, the product. But for this one, the thing that's drawing the attention is this guy, like this brand. And so, like, it's going to be way stronger. The rapport is already going to be built. I guarantee if we were to, talk to this guy, he would say that these are like layups all day long.
It's crazy to think too how many agents, an agent goes and buys a live transfer, and then they think that's their experience with inbound. And so an agent could, a typical agent could look at buying a batch of leads, like web leads, opt-ins, and then, working live transfers, and they're like, inbound, it's all the same. But whenever you have true inbound, it's like a completely different experience. Because if you have a true inbound, you've controlled that client's journey the entire way through. It's a totally different experience whenever you're operating in this model.
Warm transfers are not even inbound, which is garbage because you
Yeah.
had a VA pester the crap out of this person, and then that person answered the phone. So it's actually outbound and now it's being transferred. So like it feels inbound to the agent, but it's not. Like that person's
Yeah.
already annoyed by the time you get
It
connected with
feels
them.
inbound because they're thinking all I had to do is pick up my phone and there they are. But in
Yeah.
reality, it's like there's nothing about that process that's truly inbound. Let's run through some of his profile just to show why what he's doing is working the way it's working.
Yeah. 100%.
Really solid bio. A big part of this process is just you treat your profile like you would a landing page. Your profile is the landing page. Whenever they see that ad out there, they get indoctrinated. Hopefully, they do one of those call to actions. At the very least, they go to your profile and follow you, right? But they go to your profile, they see what you're all about up here in the bio, and then they would follow you. To then, that's essentially your opportunity to drip on them over time.
And we've
Really good
done
profile, though.
we've done this strategy ourselves, like, on my Instagram account here and there, and the really cool thing is that, like, as you get follows, they then go and watch, like, the top 9 videos, the most latest ones, so that's why it's super important to pin these ones because they're gonna click on the top 3 no matter what. So if those are my guess would be yeah, 1.1 million likes on this thing, yeah. My guess would be that he either took his top performing videos and pinned them, or he's got very like educational and structured
No.
videos at the top here that are designed to convert into DMs, comments, all that stuff. Because if they come and find you from an ad that's out
You
there,
are
they
a
hit your profile, they're going to consume all this other stuff.
Look at this. Like really, really, I mean, the 401k concept relates to a massive amount of Americans, right? So this video right here, I mean, we could break down so many videos from this guy's channel. Maybe we will, but it's like no wonder this is working as well as it is. I can
And
only
every
imagine
single
all these comments are inbounds for this guy. It's like all
yeah.
these comments are opportunities for this guy to reach out, even the ones that are fighting.
Yeah, right. And every single one of those top 3, he's leveraging influential people speaking about financial topics. Tony Robbins, that other girl, I've seen her that reel before, which is smart. Like her reel is really good. It's like, do you know that life insurance is here? Just play it. It has something about like,
Oh,
use it while
you're
you're alive
supposed
that
to
day.
use life insurance while you're alive.
It's called life insurance, not death insurance.
This is
So
I'm pretty sure this is technically considered like a duet. It's essentially he's responding. He's basically just responding,
Let me show you why.
not
So
providing a ton of commentary or anything, and maybe he will later on, but really easy to make these videos. I
And
mean,
he's just
it's basically just
leveraging
find it
already
and
viral.
respond to it, react to it.
Exactly, and he's already leveraging already viral content, so you know that it's already viral. Like, if you use it at the beginning of your video, it's gonna make your stuff go viral as well too.
Imagine your life insurance policy is a house. You see, every time you make a payment on your house, you build equity in the house. You can then use that equity for whatever you want by getting a home equity line of credit. See, but life insurance is way better. Check this out. With life insurance, when you put money in, you build equity in the form of cash value. That cash value is guaranteed to grow 100% tax-free. The money's protected against judgment and lawsuit in most states. You can access the cash value at any time for whatever you want by taking a policy loan. But unlike your house, there is no credit checks required. There's no financial statements required. Unlike your house, there's no repayment terms required. You could take the money and buy a car, go on a vacation, or do an investment to make more money. And the whole time you're doing this, you're not interrupting your guaranteed compound growth.
There's, everybody's gonna have their own thoughts on like the morality of this stuff, but like the funny thing is that like the first girl was the original video. Then the second guy talking is a guy that already did kind of like an extension of that video. And then this Viking Financial Group one, he's just kind of like sitting there reacting to it, but like
Doing
a lot
nothing.
of what the other, yeah, really, honestly. And he's getting tons of traffic to his profile. It's crazy, dude. But it's working, right? So
Yep, it's
don't
awesome.
fix what's not broken.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Thought it was a good
Cool.
profile, but it caught my attention, obviously, and it caught my attention because of the hook. It was a great hook. So I just thought it was a good ad. It's clearly bringing a lot of activity to his page, and then you get on his page, and I'm sure this IG is worth a lot to him, a lot to his business,
Yeah.
driving tons of opportunity.
Probably multiple seven figures, honestly, especially with the types of policies that he's focusing on.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you guys so much for watching through this video. If you guys enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. For those of you that are insurance agents, we have a company called Insurance Advertising Masters where we work with insurance agents to help them control their advertising. We're very familiar with the IG funnel like this. We also are specialized in what's called a VSL funnel. So I'll put a link below for any of you guys that are interested in looking into our company, how we help agents, and how we might be able to help you. But thank you guys so much for hopping on, and we'll see you on the next one.